All right, in today's episode, we sit down with Orlando and Adriana from Hoof and Hope Healing. They do equine therapy for PTSD. So me and the boys went out there a few weeks prior and did an equine therapy session, which was pretty damn cool. This episode, I'm going to give you a heads up. If you've got kids, we did talk about some pretty traumatic stories from Orlando's and my background in public safety. So be prepared for that. Some graphic stuff in there. But these guys are on a great mission to help people heal through the power of horses. Cool episode. Let's go. Hey, welcome to the North Idaho Experience, a podcast for the people of North Idaho and those who are North Idaho curious. These are the stories of the people that choose to call North Idaho home. If you guys are thinking about making North Idaho your home, give our real estate team a call. All right, today we've got Orlando and Adriana from Hoof and Hope Healing. Now, this is going to be cool because we went out and we did some equine therapy. It's for post-traumatic stress. And probably a few other things you can tell me about as we get into this. But that's why we were there. So me and Eric and Andy from our team went out there. It's been a month or so. And we did a therapy session, which was very cool. And so this is the follow-up to that. We'll cut in some of that video so you guys can see what it looks like, what we were actually doing out there throughout the podcast. But that's what we're up to today. So thank you guys. Welcome. Welcome to the show. How did you get into this? Give me the start. How's this start?
Well, I don't even know. Well, I do know. So I was working in Montana as a mental health therapist for troubled teens, and my dad knows Orlando, and my dad was like, "Oh, you guys should connect and look at doing equine therapy and all these things," and that was part of where you wanted to start like equine therapy. And so we actually met at my dad's 60th birthday party, and we started talking, and we're like, well, let's do a follow-up. And then we started planning the business together and
Cool.
and figuring out what all of this would look like.
Yep.
And obviously Orlando comes from a first responder background. My dad's first responder, and I come from that family side of things. And so that was always a passion, even prior to knowing Orlando. Like as I was in college, I knew I wanted to work with like military veterans, first responders, things like that. I just hadn't really figured out what the avenue was to get there.
Nice.
Right away.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Orlando, how did you get into this? What's your background? People don't know.
Yeah, I spent 30 years in the fire service.
30? You don't look a day over 40. How's that even possible?
Yeah. So, 30 years in the fire service. And, I was, a really long story short, my journey of mental health kind of brought my career to an end. Yeah. And during my journey of my therapy and life, I came across equine therapy when I was in inpatient therapy. Mm-hmm. And I thought it was the biggest joke there was. And it was just kind of funny. I was like,
did you have any kind of background in horses?
Well, yeah, we owned horses.
Okay, so there's some context there, right?
Yeah, and that's why I thought it was a joke.
Yeah.
It was because I owned horses and I grew up with horses, and I really didn't see them as such of a tool of therapy as they are. Mm. And so during my journey of that, I went to horse therapy myself, and I saw the magic. The magic happen right in front of my eyes, and I was like, uh-oh, this is kind of cool. So I'm not sure really how to really explain it other than I just saw it with my own eyes of the magic that I saw the horse with the person. And just knowing horses, I was like, that's not normal horse behavior.
Right.
That's something special.
Okay.
And so I saw it for myself. I came home and I tried it out on myself. And I really, really saw the benefit, because I was in such a mental state that wasn't good. And I went out and I just started hanging out with my horses.
More intentionally this time?
More intentionally, yeah. And then I started noticing what their behavior was with me, and was like, oh my God, it's been staring me right in the face this entire time.
Right.
And so there would be days I'd go out and just hang out with the horses, and some days they wanted to hang out with me, and some days they didn't. And the days they didn't were the days I was like, uh-oh, I better check myself because I'm not in a good headspace.
Right. They could tell, huh?
They could tell. And so, full circle, I went and got a certification for equine therapy through EGALA, and came back and really didn't have a clue what I was going to do with it. I was just like, I don't know, maybe I'll just kind of hang out with it and just use it for my own benefit. And then that's when I started talking to Adriana's dad, Jay, and we were talking, and all of a sudden it was like the pieces just kind of fell together, out of the blue, and everything happens for a reason. So
can we circle back to the fire service? So I say a lot, and if you don't know me, I've got a background in law enforcement. 1 year on the job, firefighter, medic, cop, doesn't matter. You'll see enough shit to get some serious trauma, right? Like sometimes a lot less than that, but within that amount of time, and you got 30 years on.
yeah,
So I mean, that's a lot of trauma.
a lot.
Do you have, and you don't have to share stories if you don't want to, but like, is there one in particular, right? Because I think you ask most guys and they're like, yeah, I've got one. And I've got one, and I'll share it in a minute if you want. But
yeah, well, I kind of got just a little flushed there. I think I wasn't really ready to share a story, or my experience. Yeah, so I had probably a half dozen in a very, very short period of time that ultimately ended my career. So I had two 13-year-old boys, coincidentally, both redheads, two separate incidents. One was found dead in his grandparents' basement. They hadn't checked on him in a day and a half. He accidentally OD'd from his brother's drugs, and I was the first one there. Walked in, he's dead on the floor. Second boy he got hit by a train, him and his mom. And I pulled him out and was just to check, just to try to find a pulse, and obviously there was nothing. The third one was mid-20s, girl. She attempted suicide by burning herself in a backseat of a car.
Jesus.
And at the time I didn't know it, that it was like even a suicide attempt. I just thought it was a car fire. Mm-hmm. And I happened to look in, and I saw the body in the back, completely black head to toe. And my mind and my eyes just weren't registering. So I ran around to the passenger side because the driver's side door was jammed for whatever reason from the fire, I guess, and was able to open it. And when I opened it, I pushed the driver's seat or passenger seat forward, and I looked at her, and out of nowhere she lifted her hands and she was like reaching for me, and I just lost it. I was just like, oh my God, that she's still alive. I mean, there was really nothing, facial features, nothing. It was just pure melted skin, and and that's all I could see. Mm-hmm. And then I had a 25-year-old young man jump off a 90-foot cliff right in front of me. And then
how did you guys get the call? And then
he was a crisis
suicidal?
call. Yep, suicidal. And one of our firefighters was actually talking to him, and he was kind of in that spot where my firefighter was kind of like jammed up, like not knowing what to say. And So I walked up to my firefighter and was like, hey, listen, ask him, what can we do for you? What can we do? And so my firefighter walked over to him and was like, hey, what can we do for you? And he must have known it was like I asked the question, because he looked right over at me and was like, there's nothing you can do. And he just stepped off the cliff.
Fuck.
And I watched him fall all the way down into the rocks. Coincidentally, he actually survived.
No way.
Yeah. Yeah. So super traumatic, just, it was just an awful, awful scene.
Yeah.
As it was with the young lady who burned herself in the car. Ultimately, she did pass away, thankfully.
Yeah. There's no,
Yeah.
you can't recover from that.
Yeah. And then the straw that broke the camel's back was the 1-day-old baby that passed away in my hands.
Damn.
And I never recovered from that one.
That's a lot in a short period of time.
Yeah, it was probably just less than 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
2-ish years.
And it's funny how they stick with you, because, you're telling stories and it's reminding me of things that I've been to, right? Tell me about car fires. Some of the worst things I've been to have been car fires with bodies in them.
Yeah.
Super traumatic. And telling me of the girl that was burned reaching for you, right? I had a woman die in my arms that had rolled down a cliff. Yeah. And the same thing, the moment I got there, it had been 2 hours after the crash by the time we got there. And, she looked dead. I walked up and she sat up, and, pupils were blown, abnormal sized. I was like, oh, she had major head trauma, and she's trying to combative with me. And then the second I told her, I'm going to get you out of here, she took her last breath. And shit bugged me for a long time. I couldn't figure it out.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. Why me?
Yeah. Why so long? And then, I got to a place of peace with it, I think, of realizing she was waiting for, she was in a bad space in her head, beat up, major head trauma. And she was waiting, in her mind, like, someone needs to come get me. So as soon as I said, I've got you, she relaxed. Yep. And I think that's what was it. And I was like, fuck.
Yeah. It's
crazy.
It's
a lot, man. And firefighters, everybody sees bad stuff in different ways, right? But firefighters are there for all the bad shit.
Yeah.
All the crashes, all the bodies. It takes a toll. I didn't mean to bring that up, but I mean, I think it's important to get context, and for people that out there that don't know, and any kind of first responder, they're witnessing someone's worst day hundreds and hundreds of times. Like, you might have that one really horrible experience in your life as a civilian, but we see it every day.
Every day.
And it's like, how can anyone expect to live a normal life after that?
And I think that's the problem is, mental health has taken such a backseat in our careers. Mm-hmm. And I don't quite think that even me as administration with the fire service, we really totally understood what it was mental health wise. And I think we're going to struggle with it for the rest of our lives. And I mean that in the sense of administration in any police, fire, EMS, mm-hmm. they're going to struggle with trying to put those pieces together, because ultimately at the end of the day, they have a job to do to respond to calls, take care of emergencies. And there's not a whole lot of understanding still with taking care of our people the right way.
Right. You can't not do the job.
You can't not do the job.
So you got to find a way forward. It seems to be getting better. I started in law enforcement in 2007, and it wasn't great back then. There were critical incident debriefs, but so in 14 years in law enforcement, I've been to one critical incident debrief, and that was a shooting. But of all the fatal crashes, all the bad shit, so they're not quite there yet.
Yeah, I mean, it's still bad, right? I mean, I can honestly say probably it was the only last maybe 8 years in my service that that was even really looked at hardcore, like really concentrating on critical incident stress on our people.
Yep.
And possibly taking people out of service for that reason. But prior to that, no way, man.
Suck it up.
Yeah, suck it up.
You good? You good? Yeah, let's go.
Yep.
That's all it was.
And that's okay too.
Yeah.
But
Sometimes you gotta. Sometimes
yeah.
you got the next call. It's like you gotta go.
But you have to circle around.
Yeah.
And make sure that they're okay.
Yeah.
And even when you think they're okay, they're probably not.
Right.
Because it may not be tomorrow that they're showing signs. It may not even be next week. And it may not even be a month from now.
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to show back up. Somewhere, somehow, some way, you don't get rid of it by washing your hands, wiping the blood off, whatever it is, you don't get rid of it because it's stuck in your brain.
I've been out for 5 years and having this conversation right now. My palms are sweaty.
Dude,
and my heart rate is up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can tell, and like some of it's right when you started telling your stories. Like it brings back memories for me, and then I can hear it in your voice. I don't even know you that well, but I can hear your tone change, and you can probably hear mine change, and then it sets me off, and I'm like, oh, fuck, here we go. My heart rate's up. It's wild the way that works, and I haven't done the job in 5 years.
Yeah. So I've been retired 2.5 years now, medically, and so. I struggle with it every day. I've been to inpatient treatment twice. Inpatient.
Yeah.
Twice.
Was there, were you ever in such a dark space that you thought about killing yourself?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what sent me there the second time.
Yeah.
And
did you try other coping mechanisms prior to that? Like the usual stuff, alcohol?
That's funny you bring that up because, so many people I was in therapy with tried it all. Mm-hmm. And the places I went to was all first responders and military. And hearing their stories, you're like, oh, damn, at least I didn't have that.
Yep.
Fortunately for me, I did not have that other coping mechanism of drugs or alcohol or any of that. But so many people did.
Yeah.
I think my coping mechanism was definitely, I just buried my head in my phone and cut the entire world out and slept and just wished and prayed every single day that it would stop.
Yeah.
And you just couldn't get those memories, that that circle out of your head of all of that. And every time you close your eyes, every time you walk somewhere, I eventually had stopped going to the grocery store. I stopped going out in public. I stopped existing.
Mm-hmm. It sneaks up on you, and then sometimes it's the call that you don't expect. Where you're like, really feel it. And you're like, this isn't a big deal, whatever.
I got to the point where after the 1-day-old baby call, the hallucinations is what got me. Mm-hmm. I couldn't go anywhere without seeing that baby's face or hearing, the mom. The mom's voice, and what the straw that really, like I said, the straw that broke the camel's back was obviously that incident. But the coming home and walking up the stairs to my house, and I look over, and the pictures of my kids they're replaced with that baby's face. And that's when I was like, uh-oh.
So it's wild. it's wild the things that will trigger you, right? Like, I had back-to-back fatal car crashes that resulted in a fire, and then the people died from the fire, and they were bad, and really close together. And man, I barbecue, the smell.
Oh man,
right? Yeah, I'm talking to a firefighter.
Yeah,
you've been to, I'm sure, many, and I just couldn't do it. bring me back. I'd be with the kids in the backyard and barbecuing meat. And I'm like, all I'm thinking about is that dude that freaking burned up in the car. Like that's all. I'm like, fuck, man. It pulls you out of that family time, right? And my kids are like, what's wrong with dad? Why is he detached? You know, and then it makes your relationship suffer. I'm trying to think if I started. So I've been in therapy. I don't think I started after that though. I probably should have. And there was no debrief, you know, it was just like another day at work.
Yep.
And I didn't go to therapy until after, so my house burned down in a wildfire in 2018 in Paradise, California.
Oh, wow.
And I was working that day. So I responded up there. It was the neighboring CHP office. So it wasn't my area, but I responded up there because it was my town. And I participated in the evacuations all day. Had some horrible shit happen up there. I thought I was going to die numerous times because it was, you've probably been through wildfires. It was fucking ripping. It was like 40-mile-an-hour winds. Yeah. Completely insane. You know, downed power lines, poles, smoke everywhere, and you're driving through these roads. And I'm like, if I hit something, I'm fucked. I'm just going to burn up, right? Yeah. Yeah. I had a buddy, I heard him on the radio at one point asking for CAL FIRE to drop water on his location because he was completely engulfed. And then I didn't hear him on the radio the rest of the day, so I assumed he was dead. He didn't die, but that was on my mind, right? Yeah. And then so this is probably my number one. I was talking about that earlier, right? So I was doing traffic control in an intersection, and I'd parked my car facing down the hill because I knew the fire was coming. It was like raining embers. It got dark. It was like, I don't know, 8 or 9 in the morning. It was pitch black. Like I had a flashlight out. It was that dark. And there's very few roads in and out of Paradise, so total gridlock. So I'm trying to get cars down the hill, and all the lanes kind of were blocked with fire trucks and cars. So it's physically impossible to go back up the hill. And I had a guy pull up to me, total panic, and he's like, I gotta go get my mom, my elderly mom. She's in her house up there, and he's got his phone out, and I can hear her screaming on the phone. Yeah. And you can't get on the radio. It's complete chaos, right? Thousands and thousands of people trying to evacuate. It was just the worst situation imaginable, I think. And he's like, you got to help me. And I'm like, there's no one to go get her. And you can't physically get past this. Like, I just can't, you can't. So I'm like, he's like begging for my help. And I've never felt so helpless in my life. I'm like, yeah, I literally can't do anything for this guy. So I just turned and walked away. I was like, I don't know what happened. I don't know. I'm assuming she died. I don't know. 85 people died up there that day, so it's quite possible. That one fucking sat with me. Because as a first responder, you want to help people. That's your goal in life. I lived through that. Yeah. And to be in that moment where like I literally can't do anything. Holy shit.
Yeah, we fix everything.
Right.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
That's our job.
And when you can't, and someone's dying, it's like, oh, fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, because we fix everything.
Yeah.
They call us to take care of it.
Yeah.
No matter what.
So after that, we put our kids into therapy. So my wife had to evacuate with the kids, and it was very close for a lot of people, and all their friends. Everybody lost their homes up there, their schools, everything was gone. So super traumatic for the kids. So we put them into therapy, and my wife's like, you should go too. And I was like, okay. So like I go, and the therapist was cool. Like, you know, as a cop or firefighter, and you go in there like, I'm about to dump some shit on you, and you better have some thick skin. And she knew how to deal with guys like us. Like she dropped some F-bombs right away. And I'm like, okay, you're cool. Like we can talk. Yeah. And so like, I remember the first session by myself with her, you know, I'm telling her some stories, probably the ones I just told here. And she's like, hey, I want to read you something. So she gets out her little book, and she's like, let me read you the definition of PTSD. And I was like, fuck it, I'm out. Yep. That's the feeling I had. Like, no, we're not doing that. Like, they're not going to let me go to work. I know how this goes. But yeah, she read it, and I was like, oh, that sounds pretty similar. Very familiar sounding. And I kept coming back, right? I came back to her multiple times, and I realized that talking through these things is super important because it helped me a lot.
Yeah.
My biggest issue being a helper, I'd get done with the session. I'm like, do you need a hug? Like I just dumped some shit on you. I'm like, who do you talk to? Because
Yeah. Yeah.
there's levels to this game. That is hard, right? You're talking to a lot of people and you're getting a lot of trauma. I mean, dealing with teens must be some stuff that's really hard to deal with.
Yeah.
And you're taking it. And then what do you do with it?
Yeah.
Like I felt bad. But man, and then I started being open about it, right? I didn't give a shit anymore. So I'd talk about it at work because you could tell. Like I knew the guys that,
We're struggling.
put on a big facade. Yep. Fucking man's man. But I'm like, I know what you do on the weekend, dude. And you get blacked out drunk every night. Like there's a reason for that.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you got to qualm the pain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quiet the pain, and whatever it is to do it.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, and that was totally me, right? I was like, I didn't want help. I didn't need help.
No.
But I held it all in, and I was just like, I was literally that pressure cooker. I was just like, I was done. I was done.
It's, hearing that, it's like a worst nightmare at first because you're just like, oh man, what's going to happen to my job?
Yep.
That's all I could think about was like, I don't want to say anything. And I knew some deputies, not chippies like me, that were going through some shit. And even though you can get free treatment, there's a hotline. It's all anonymous. Like there's no way to tell who you are, like what department, whatever. They would cash pay instead of using that free service because they were so concerned about anybody finding out at work.
Yep.
And that blew my mind. I'm like, that's fucked up. It shouldn't be like that.
It's that stigma.
Yeah.
And that was like part of my process was like, once I got diagnosed with PTSD, I was like, oh my God, I got the scarlet letter.
Yep. I'm done.
Everybody can see it now. Mm-hmm. I have the big P on my shirt, and everybody can see it and know it, and I don't want it. I don't want it. And the worst part it was like, I think it was just like, I felt like everybody, once it was that diagnosis of, oh yeah, you got PTSD. It was like,
he's a pussy. He's a pussy.
He's a pussy.
Yeah.
And he's a failure. Yeah. And he's less than.
Yeah.
And
can't handle it.
The shame, that god awful word shame, was just all over me because 30 years I was the dude that fixed it.
Right.
And now I'm the broken one. I'm broken. I have the scarlet letter. I'm broken. And you know what? Oh, I'll be good though. Just give me some pills and I'll be all right.
Yeah, send me back to work.
I'll be good. Put me back in, coach.
It's crazy because after I sort of went through that, I looked back and I was like, wow, I could see moments in my career where I was like, did something that in my own mind was cowardly, and I'm like, what? Like why? And I look back and I'm like, oh. Like here's a great example. My buddy Sam, he talks shit about this incident all the time because he's a good friend, right? That's what they do.
Yes.
We had a ped get hit by a car, rural town, like in the middle of nowhere. You know what I mean? Like could not solve it. The only evidence we found was a leaf spring clip from potentially a small pickup. So no evidence. I actually never solved that case. Somebody hit this dude in the middle of the night, middle of nowhere. Fucking dead guy we got there. Like a couple nights later, the call comes out the same way, head in the road or a possible body or whatever it came out. I was like, fuck, man, like 2 in a row. It's my out again. So I'm driving and I was like driving really slow, code 3, but like 40 miles an hour. Yeah. And a fucking ambulance passes me on the way to this call. And my buddy's like, bro, you're a fucking trooper and you just let an ambulance pass you code 3. And I was like, huh. Yeah, I did. I like really don't want to get to this call.
Yeah, I wanted them to get there first.
Yeah. Like subconsciously, that's what happened.
Yep.
And I look back on it and he gives me shit to this day about it. And I'm sure he'll listen to this and give me shit again. And I'm like now I understand why.
Yep.
I didn't want to get there. Like, I'm just going to try to avoid this, even though it's unavoidable.
Yeah. And as much as I tried to avoid a lot of that, it found me. You know, it found me. And Adriana and I talk about this all the time about I was literally like, I was the black cloud.
That
I
guy.
always have. I always have throughout my career.
If you don't come from that world, then you're like, what's the black cloud?
yeah.
That's the guy or gal that all the shitty calls come to, and
Yep.
they just end up in the weirdest situations that are always insane. And there's always people like, if you go to any office, any department, whatever, you'd be like, who's the black cloud? Everybody knows, like that one guy or gal.
And Adriana, conversely, is the white cloud.
That's good.
She
Balances you out.
she has been volunteering with her dad at the fire department.
Yeah.
Up in Priest River, and she has not had a call yet on her Tuesday night. Nothing. Zilch. And I'm
good.
like, yeah,
That's
see,
good.
that's not me.
No. You'd be
like-
there and it'd be like a fucking plane crash into a school bus.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's why I stay home. Yeah. I don't go anywhere now. I stay at home and, you know, just, because that shit happens to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I'm interested, Adriana. You got on as a volunteer.
I did.
So
yes.
you know the shit, you know what you're getting into,
Yeah.
but it intrigued you still.
Yeah. Yeah. Part of it, like, there was multiple things, right? Like, my dad has done firefighting on and off my whole entire life, his whole entire life. And so, but he's the person that never, like, brought it home. Like, he never talked about it. He dissociates really well. And now, like, starting this business with Orlando, it was kind of this opportunity to be able to get some more cultural competency, like, firsthand versus just like as the family member. And it's also been a really cool, like, bonding experience with my dad. Like, I get to see what he's doing. Unfortunately, fortunately and unfortunately, I haven't had any calls, but I get to do the trainings, and we just had Life Flight out last week.
Cool.
And so, like, having my dad be he's deputy chief up there, and so he's like my boss, right? And
Yeah.
so
Oh, he probably loves that too.
yeah.
That's pretty cool.
And so it's been a really cool opportunity to be able to, like, gauge firsthand what it is that he's going through, what it is the other first responders are going through. The police department also comes out there and does some other trainings with us, so you get that other cultural piece of the police law enforcement. And so it's just been really interesting. I've learned a lot of the different things that, like, as a civilian, you don't necessarily think about, like the smoke, right? Like, in a structure fire, like, if you blow out this one window, like, you could blow up the whole house because you picked the wrong window to blow up.
Right.
Yeah.
There's some
And so-
science behind it.
Yep,
Yes.
Yeah. And so all of the other things, like, it's not just, like, one thing that you're looking at 5 million other things. And then after the call, as you both have talked about, like, now you've got to process what just happened during this call. And so it's been very interesting, like, seeing all of that. And, like, logically that makes sense, right? Like, you need to know X, Y, and Z that you're walking into. But, like, I have had one call the very first day of volunteering, and it was a medical call. And, like, afterwards I remember, like, because my dad's just, like, in the zone, right? Like, you get the call, you're in the zone. I was like, I'm just going to stay quiet, let him do his thing while we ride down. And afterwards I was like, okay, so what was, like, going through your head? And this is, like, the mental health side of me. I'm like, the therapist in me is like, okay, like, what was the dynamics going through your head? What were you thinking about? And he was, like, explaining that to me. And I'm like, that's a lot of stuff. And then on top of it, you've got everything else going on.
Yeah. It's a crazy world. I remember early on as a baby trooper, I was probably, like, first couple months on the job. I went to a motorcycle crash, and I was working in Humboldt County on the north coast of California. Cool area. But we got a lot of motorcycle crashes because it's all windy roads. Everybody likes to ride. And I learned a very important lesson that night. It always stuck with me. I went up to this guy, and he's, like, on the ground, all fucked up. And I'm like, "Are you okay?" That's the words that came out of my mouth.
Yeah.
And then I sat there, and I'm like, "No, he's definitely not okay." Like, that was dumb. So I switched it after that moment. And then I would say, "Are you hurt?" or "Where are you hurt?" That was a much better thing. And it was a very simple thing, but then it stuck with me, like, the rest of my career, because I felt like such a dumbass the first time I said that. I don't know what firefighters say. They probably say some cool shit.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah. So yeah, don't say, "Are you okay?" when they're not okay.
Yeah. When they're missing a leg.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, oh, he's okay.
Or an arm and go, hey, can I give you a hand? Yeah.
There's the dark humor.
Yeah. Sorry.
Can I give you a hand up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that's like, she kind of hit the point, though, is like we have to keep the humor in it. And,
Yes.
And some people just don't understand that.
No, if you were like, walked up on a scene and a bunch of cops and firefighters were working it and there's nobody around, you would be shocked at the shit you heard.
Yeah.
But you have to.
You have to. And I think that's like the really important piece for Adriana to get in this dynamic and this duo between us is especially to be able to help our first responder people and military, is that cultural competency.
Yes.
So she gets it.
Yeah. I
not
think
not only does she live it, with her dad, but now she's getting to live it personally, and because we don't trust anybody.
No.
I don't trust anybody. Period. And to go and talk to somebody,
Yeah.
well, they're not going to get me. They don't understand me. They've never seen what I've seen, and they probably haven't. But to be able to have that piece to say, hey, yeah, you know what? I was a volunteer firefighter. I was a firefighter. I was a cop. I was this. I grew up in a first responder family. Boom! It takes it down just that little bit notch so that you can peer in to go, oh wait, I can trust them this much.
I think that is a great idea.
Truly trust them because I don't trust anybody.
Yeah.
But I can trust them this much because, they might understand just a little bit.
Yeah. It gives you like credibility, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that is a great idea to be able to help tap into that crowd.
Because we're cynical assholes. And like I said, you don't trust anybody. I mean, especially cops.
Right.
Everybody wants to hurt you.
Or everybody lies to us.
And everybody lies to you.
I've had a priest in the priest outfit, whatever, fucking lie to me on a traffic stop. And I'm like, come on, guy. Like,
dude,
I got you on radar, like 85, and you're trying to tell me some bullshit. Like,
it was the Holy Spirit making it.
yeah. Like, so if that guy's going to lie to me, well, everybody's going to lie to me, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's, I think it's that extra little bonus that because she takes care of the people. I don't want anything to do with people. I do like the horses.
That's a good dynamic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I think it helps her have that openness with our first responder or military people that she kind of gets it.
Yeah.
I can trust her just an ounce, so I can talk.
Let's jump into the actual equine therapy. So we've gone through the trauma. Now we know why we're here.
Yeah. I'm going to need therapy after this, man.
You're going to go chill with the horses.
Yeah.
I've got dogs. That's almost as good. But
Yes.
Not quite. So when you had us come out, we went through kind of an abbreviated session because we didn't have a ton of time.
Yes.
I guess I'll hold my thoughts. It was a very cool experience for me. Give us the kind of spiel that you give people on, like, how does this work? You had talked about horses like being prey animals. I remember that sticking into my mind, and that's how they process stress differently. Is that ringing a bell?
Yes.
Okay, give me that spiel, because that when you said that out there, I was like, oh, that made sense to me.
You want me to give it or you?
Yeah, you go ahead. You give it. You do it a lot nicer than I do.
Does he?
Yeah, he does.
So the reason it works so well is like you mentioned, horses are a prey animal. They either want to, they're either life or death. There's really only those two things with them. Everything wants to eat them, bite them, kick them. They're always on edge. So they're very in tune with their surroundings. And as humans, we're not as in tune with our surroundings as horses are. And so them being such a large animal, a prey animal, they have a very, very big heart, right? They're a performance animal as well. And that heart has a huge magnetic field that surrounds them. And so, like we talked about out there, if you ever seen horses running and all of a sudden they'll stop, or they'll turn right, or they'll turn left, or whatever, or if a horse, they're in their little herd and one horse spooks, you'll see it echo throughout the rest of the horses, there's a way that they're connected, and they're connected through their hearts, through that magnetic field, and that field is somewhere in the neighborhood of about 40 to 50 feet. And so the minute that you walk up to a horse, they're starting to read your heart and go, okay, is this guy a friend or a foe? Is he going to eat me? Is he going to jump on my back? Is he going to kick me? Because that's how they stay alive. And so that's why horses work so well, is because they immediately start getting in tune with you. And within 30 seconds to a minute, they will lower your heart rate, drop your cortisol levels, and start bringing you down, because their heart will essentially just take over your heart, so that they can start regulating and knowing what you're about. Because when you were out there, you were probably a little nervous.
Oh yeah.
You know,
I'm not super comfortable around horses. I mean, I did watch all of Yellowstone, but still, that being said, I've been around them a few times. I've ridden them a few times, like, you know, not like in the wild, but like on a trail. Yeah, it's not that cool. But so I was nervous, and it's a big animal.
Yeah. So they're big animals. And so, within that minute, you know, Miss Holly was reading you like a book. She's like, uh-oh, Seth's a little nervous. But is it a bad nervous? Is it a good nervous? Is it what kind of nervousness is it? They don't differentiate. They just know that there's some nervousness going on. But eventually, she brought you down.
Oh yeah.
She was, and we talked about this afterwards, and I'm sure it's in the video somewhere there, the interaction between you and the horse, you know, was amazing.
You guys called it, and feel free to share anything about it on here. I'm not shy about anything. So,
yeah, no.
I guess go through the exercises that we went through, and I'll kind of talk, you know, what my experience was.
Yeah, so I think the one thing is like just having you groom the horse. You're putting your hands on her, you're grooming her, you're talking to her, and you're establishing a little bit of a rapport. And Adriana's job is to watch you and what you're doing, and my job is to watch what the horse is doing. And the horse is telling your story. Whether you can see it or not, I can see it. And, you know, whether it's how you're talking to her, her ears are moving, or she's moving her head, you know, she's uncomfortable, whatever it is, she's telling your story whether you know it or not. So we had you groom the horse initially, and you can jump in anywhere if I'm forgetting something about when he was grooming. Yeah. I think, you know, Holly was definitely showing the signs of the nervousness at first, but then you could see her starting to relax a little bit while you were doing the grooming, and she kind of did that with everybody that went through, you know, that process. But then we jumped over, and, you know, we have you do 5 things about yourself and 5 things that make you.
We vary it.
Yeah,
so
we vary it, so it changes
just
all the time.
depends. But like,
I think we did 5 things we like about ourselves and 5 things we
you
don't like about.
yourself.
That
That
sounds
sounds right.
familiar.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so you get to tell the horse that. And so that basically, that just opens the door, because essentially, like, whether we want to believe it or not, she's really not the therapist. I'm not there. I'm not a therapist, but the horse is the therapist.
Yeah.
So she's listening to you. She's like, oh, this guy likes himself because of this, and this. Oh, but he doesn't like himself because of this, and this. So you're opening that door to her to say, this is me, this is how I am, and these are the troubles I'm working on. And so, we had you do that, and then we had you jump over, kind of talked a little bit in between. How did that make you feel? You know, where are you at now? And that kind of stuff. And then we did 2 boxes. and those 2 boxes represented something in your life, and I cannot remember.
I think we decided to do the 2 things that you didn't like about yourself, one for each box, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
Or 2 big things.
2 big things.
Again, this activity changes
I can't remember either, actually.
with everybody, depending on what we're working on and what's going on. But yeah, I believe it was the negatives that you didn't like about yourself is what we ended up assigning for the boxes.
And so then we have you in a box, a proverbial box, and talk about it with the horse in the box. And you work through that process of the things you don't like about yourself or things that you want to work on, you know. And I think
there was a moment, I remember you talking to me after, where Holly, that's the horse, by the way, if you didn't realize that already.
Holly's the horse.
She reacted to something I did.
Yes.
I can't remember exactly what it was, but you guys both noticed it.
Yeah.
Like Adriana, you noticed it in me, and you noticed it in the horse.
Yeah. And we were like, hey, did you notice that? And you were like, oh, God, no.
Yeah.
But it was very significant, and you know that's what we're looking for is those changes in the horse's behavior to signify something that's there.
Like I want to say I was talking about stress or something, and like she started moving the way she was angled with me. It was something like that.
Yeah. That's right. You were talking about stress, and she blocked.
That's it.
She blocked us from you, and she got in between us.
Yeah. Like she physically moved her big old body around.
Yeah, she moved her body in between us to protect you.
Yeah.
Because you were starting to get, you were talking about this stressful experience, and she physically moved in between us so that we had to talk over her. And then,
and I wouldn't have noticed that, right? It was just like, oh, this horse is just moving around.
Yeah.
But you noticed that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was pretty wild. What is typically a session, how long would it typically be? You got a normal session?
About an hour.
Okay.
Yeah, every once in a while we go over an hour. If we have the time to be able to go over an hour, by all means, we'll go over an hour, and that's okay. Yeah, but typically an hour.
Yeah, because especially with some of our clients, they're at that point where they're just starting to get that processing, and we don't want to cut it off.
Yeah.
Because
that would be a bad time.
It's bad time, timing.
Yeah.
And we do allow ourselves some cushion in between sessions.
Yep.
Just for that reason.
Yeah.
But if we're right in that middle of a processing point, then Adriana will continue it. But it's pretty cool to watch.
Yeah, I bet. How many sessions? I guess it would vary so much between person, but like, what's a typical number of sessions?
Oh, it truly does vary. I don't even think there's like a fixed answer to that question. Yeah, unfortunately, so younger people, especially teenagers and like early 20s, can process a lot faster, so they might need less sessions. Depending on what it is that's going on trauma-wise, anxiety, stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, you could be working with somebody for a month. You could be working with somebody for 5 years. It just kind of depends how quickly they process, or if they get stuck on processing something, and we kind of have to keep working through that incident.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's like that I keep bringing up that word magic because I truly believe it is magic that the horse can bring to your life and to your soul to help heal it. It just depends. I mean, how open you are and how willing you are to accept whatever it is you're working on to be so. And obviously she's the therapist, and she helps the people get through those portions in their life, and it just happens a lot faster because we can see it in the horse first. We see it in the horse, and then she's able to interpret it and make it more sensible to the person.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, I was thinking about it after, and, you know, I've got 3 dogs. My dogs kind of fill a little bit of that niche, you know?
Yeah.
But the horse was magnified.
Absolutely.
Not just because it's bigger, but I was just looking in those eyes. There's a depth there and like a wisdom.
Yeah.
So I could see it after. Like, by the time I got done, I was like, okay, like,
Were you tired that evening?
yeah, man.
bit,
Like,
yeah.
like you felt. I felt a little bit drained, and some of that's, you know, just talking about trauma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll probably be drained tonight too, to be honest,
Yeah.
after talking through some of these things. But yeah, like it was cool, and I was like, I bet that's why a lot of people love dogs.
Absolutely.
Some people love cats, but cats are soulless, so I don't know if that's the same. But yeah, the horse was like different and really cool.
Yeah, they are cool.
Yeah.
Like I said, I was the biggest skeptic of it all.
Yeah, I definitely came into it and like, it's gonna be some hippie bullshit.
Yeah.
But no, like I'm in.
Yeah.
I think it was really cool.
Yeah. And like I said, fortunately, you know, with having Adriana, you know, being able to read, I don't have to worry about the
Right,
person
that's a
aspect
good
of it.
dynamic. Yeah, you guys can split that a little bit.
I
Yeah,
don't have to worry about the human part. I get to worry about the horse, and yeah, since they are our horses, you know, we take care of them, and I know what to expect from them.
right.
Especially now that I'm going through this and seeing what the horses are, you know, she gets to do with the people, I get to do with the horse. And
Yeah. So if you remove the business element out of this, what motivates you guys?
Gosh. Well, mine was to help people, and
Yeah.
that was the biggest thing to get into mental health in the first place. Is I started off with substance use, being a substance use therapist over in Spokane Valley, and
Plenty of that over there.
yes, yeah, and I was working with deferred inmates, and the homeless population as well, and so that was
Was
just
that pretty eye-opening for you?
yeah, extremely eye-opening, and I learned so many things. I was probably 21 when I was working there, and so I was like this young kid that really still didn't know too much about life. And
Yeah, like based on what you've told me, I feel like you had a good childhood, and you probably weren't exposed to a lot of that crap.
yeah,
Sounds like your dad's a good dude. So yeah,
Well, that's
that would
for
be a
sure.
big eye-opener.
yeah, and I know it was such a cool experience, and like you build these relationships therapeutically with these individuals and hearing their stories and like what their childhood was like. And with a substance use license, like that's all you can do is anybody who's diagnosed with a substance use disorder, those are the only people you get to treat. And so my mentality was like, well, I want to treat people before they get to that point of using substances, and I want to be able to help people that are struggling with the anxiety or the trauma or really anything that's coming their way earlier before they get to that point. We've had substance use in my family, and so there's been kind of like that uneasiness of like where are they? Like where would have no connection to them. They're gone for years, and then maybe they might pop back into your life and you talk to them for a couple of days and then they're gone again.
Oh, wow.
And
Yeah.
so like coming from that side of things, I was like, I really just want to help people. I want to help the family members. I want to help the individual that's going through this. So that was a really big component in my world of getting into mental health. Yeah.
What about you, Orlando?
Yeah, pretty much the same. Just wanting to be able to give back and help.
Yeah.
You know, since I can't work anymore, I can help Adriana go through this journey and help people in a small way, you know, through our horses, you know, because fortunately, you know, our horses are our life, you know. My wife's a police officer, so they're really her horses. I just steal them. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. Not really hers, but and my kids, but I just use them for this.
Do you guys do you specialize in any type of person? I mean, it sounds like you cover anybody that needs therapy.
Yeah, we really try to focus in on the first responder.
Yeah. Yeah. First responder, military vet
Yeah.
side of
There's
things.
a lot of those up here. A
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And kids.
Yeah.
We kind of have found a little bit of a niche with some kids, and
Like yeah, I bet they would respond really well to it. because all kids think horses are cool to begin with. So there's that.
Yeah.
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 And it takes them out of the office, like instead of doing just like traditional talk therapy, where you feel like you're being interrogated or interviewed or whatever that looks like, you get this opportunity to spend time with this animal, and you don't you truly like the horse is the therapist, and so you get to talk to the horse, and there's no judgment. There's nothing that could be perceived as a judgmental coming from the horse.
The horse just takes that energy and then burns it off.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it is definitely not your traditional
Oh, no.
Yeah.
therapy.
No, it is not.
And yeah, she's exactly right. It's a lot of times the clients go off and talk to the horse and tell the horse whatever it is. We don't ask.
Yeah.
And they come back completely changed sometimes. Like, hey, you know what? I was able to talk to the horse and get rid of it. The horse took it and they own it now. You know, and that's kind of what we do with the box.
Yeah.
You know,
There's so much value in just talking. It's super cathartic for me, just telling the stories. I've told the stories I told today 100 times, and it seems like every time I tell it, a little bit of its power goes away from hold on me goes away. But sometimes people, you know, I think we're lucky coming from the first responder world in that it's probably the same for you guys. You can share anything with the guys you're in the truck with, or for me, my graveyard partner. Nobody's there listening, and they're going through the same shit usually, right?
Yeah.
There's outliers, but so you can kind of have that person to bounce stuff off of. But you might not necessarily go home and tell your wife that story, because I told my wife a lot of things, but I definitely kept some things back too that were just too much, and I want to like wreck her brain over it. So I like the idea of a horse, because it's like you can say anything.
you can't say anything.
Yeah.
It's not like they're going to go gossip.
No,
I mean,
they're
they
not.
might. They might go back to the herd and be like, man, did you hear that shit? You won't believe this. You know, but when they all start neighing, you're like, uh-oh, that's when you're in trouble.
I didn't tell Holly this, but one of my more traumatic events as a cop was having to put a horse down.
She
It
probably
was
would have kicked you.
fucked up. Like fucked up. And I didn't even shoot it. My partner shot it. So we got this call of a horse that got hit by a car. And this is a terrible story. I'm sorry. And the lady didn't have money to call the vet to put it down. So she's like, can you guys put my horse down? And it was my out. So my partner, I'm like, oh, fuck, man. So I'm like stressing. I got the AR. And I'm like, dude, I can't do this. My partner, Sam, he's a former Marine. You pussy. I was like, oh, you're doing it.
Yep.
So I gave him the rifle. I'm like, fucking fine, big guy. And I'll spare you the graphic details, but we shot that horse, and it was super fucking traumatic. And I will never get that out of my head. And that is all I could think about when I was with Holly. And I was like, I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you that.
That's why she was.
Yeah. She's like, I know what you did, you son of a bitch. I'm like,
She knew it in here, man.
it had to be done. Yeah. Anyway.
Great.
No, I don't ever want to do that again.
Yeah. She probably went back and was like,
Yeah. This guy.
dude,
This motherfucker.
if he walks over here and he's got something in his hands,
Run.
you guys better run. We will bust through fences. Now.
Oh, man. Yeah. Good times.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's great to tell the horse. And like I said, for me, it was that, and I could tell you, it was one day, man, I was pretty down in the dumps. And I was like, I'm going to go out and just be with the horses.
Mm-hmm.
And I walked out there, and all of a sudden, man, they
That's
all came
cool.
around me, and they were just standing there, and I was just loving on them, and they all stayed with me. They didn't have a reason to. They just stayed with me. And I was just loving on them.
Do you get the same effect? And you don't do this for the therapy, but if you're riding it,
Yes.
same.
Yes.
Yeah. That's probably even more, you're like more connected to her.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, when we go on our trail rides, that's my zen time.
That's gotta be great.
You know, not a lot of talking, just riding and getting all that energy out through the horse and being able to just process stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And you're out in the middle of nowhere, and yeah, that
That sounds pretty cool.
that's the time. And then just the adventures.
I got to come learn how to ride.
Yeah, come on over.
That sounds good.
I think your kiddo was, right?
Yep. She's talking about it.
Yeah.
I think that's going to happen. You guys have a website? How do people find you?
Yeah, hoofandhopehealing.com.
Okay. I will link that in the show notes. Social media?
Yeah, Instagram and Facebook, Instagram I think is Hoof and Hope, and then Facebook is Hoof and Hope Healing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll find it and link it in there as well, just so people can find you. I guess this is a question that may come up. Does insurance pay for anything?
Yeah.
Does?
Yes.
Oh, that's rad.
Yeah.
That is very cool.
She does all that.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So we can run insurance. We do like a consult initially. But if there is insurance involved, then during that first phone call where we're trying to set up the consult time, I just ask for the information. I can run it and figure out if insurance will cover it.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Any nonprofit connection to this as well, or thought of doing that?
We talked about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be an interesting component if you could kind of tie it in and do both.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're definitely looking at those options.
Yeah.
We're not even a year into this.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So,
Pretty fresh.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, pretty new, and just an opportunity to work on this and
Yeah.
be able to just help people.
I love it. I love what you guys are doing.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun.
Good. And you're helping people. That's what we all are here for, I think.
Yeah.
Should be. You
Yeah.
guys are, I could tell.
And what a better place to do it, right? I mean,
Yeah.
we live in a beautiful
Yes.
area, and like I said, we get to ride our horses in some of the most gorgeous country around.
Freaking cool. Well, thank you guys. This has been super informative. And like I said, now I feel a little bit drained. I feel like,
Yeah.
I'm like
Was
Yeah.
not expecting.
sorry I hit you with
Thanks.
that. Hey, you know what? You get to go tell it to Holly right now.
Yeah.
And I don't. I'm going to go back to work.
I don't know what I'm going to do, actually.
Cool. Well, yeah, I really appreciate it, you guys. It's been fun to share, and thank you for having us out there. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can see some of the video of us out there hanging out with Holly and watch her react to me.
Yeah, Holly's our primary
Yeah.
therapy horse. We do use some of the other horses for different things, but Holly's probably our most connected.
She was really calm and chill.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's good traits. Yeah. Well, thank you guys. Really appreciate
you.
it. And yep, look them up, Hoof and Hope Healing. It'll be in the comment section down below, so you guys can find that on YouTube and get access to the website if you need that. But great service right here. We should mention you guys are over in Otis Orchards.
Yeah.
Otis Orchards. Okay, right over the border in Washington is where the farm is with Holly. So
Yeah, the business is here in Coeur d'Alene,
yep,
but
okay,
we just use the
perfect.
ranch over there.
So highly recommend personally if you guys need it, especially if you're from that first responder world. You're near and dear to all of our hearts. Go talk to somebody sooner than later. Don't let it fester. You're not a pussy for doing it.
Nope.
I can vouch for that. All right. Thank you guys.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Later.